In Warsaw, history is never far away. It's a city built on the ruins left by more than 5 years of brutal Nazi German occupation during World War II. More than 70 years on, and Poland's present government worries that memory of the war is blurring, inside and outside the country, particularly when it comes to the fate of Poland's 3 million Jewish dead, shifting the blame for Nazi crimes committed on Polish soil to the Poles themselves, and downplaying Christian Poles' support for their persecuted Jewish compatriots. When President Obama mistakenly referred to Auschwitz as a Polish death camp back in 2012, he hit a raw nerve. A government-sponsored PR campaign seeks to redress that imbalance. YouTube ads targeted at users in Europe and Israel seek to open foreigners' eyes to Poland's war record. More controversially, a new law makes it a criminal offence to attribute Nazi crimes to the Polish nation. Its critics fear it could effectively criminalize open discussion of the Holocaust, rendering stories of individual Poles' collaboration off limits. The new legislation has drawn stiff criticism from Israel and the US, but for now the government seems unimpressed. This law will protect the Polish nation and the Polish people from false accusations. It's just like the laws against Holocaust denial. But for this MP from Poland's governing party, the present law is not the end of the line when it comes to addressing his country's troubled past. To the present day, Germany has still not paid Poland war reparations. Poland lost 12 million of its citizens and 50% of its territory. No one has made amends for this. Karolina Wigura is an expert on historical memory and Poland's Jewish community. She says the law was rushed through in a hurry and is dangerously vague.
It is visible that the government did not expect such a reaction, that the law was actually poorly prepared, and that they weren't able to foresee the consequences.
We head to Warsaw's only surviving pre-war synagogue. Before the Holocaust, the city's Jewish community numbered some 300,000 people. Today, fewer than 10,000 remain. But how has the new law been received here?
People do not feel restrained as such, but people feel, is there a place for me in Poland today? And it's a horrible statement for me to say. The Poles suffered horribly during World War II. They were fantastic heroes of the righteous among the nations, the best people in the world. And you also have individual Poles, and sometimes even groups of Poles, that collaborated with the Germans and led to the murder of Jews. All those statements are true, and in a democratic, free Poland, we need to be able to say them openly without any fear of being prosecuted in court.
Warsaw is booming, leaving ever fewer physical reminders of the war on the city's streets. But the memory shows no sign of fading, quite the opposite, as the question of who and what to remember comes to dominate Poland's politics.